Hi everyone, it's Helen here and thank you for joining me today. Now today we're going to be making this beautiful and very simple red Valentine's box, and I just love this heart die that we've used for that, and I've finished it off with a bow. So for the next box we're going to make, I'm going to do a different finish, so just so that there's a few different options for you. So let's go through with what we've used today. So I've used this lovely heart die from Fuzzy Lemon. The links will be down below if you fancy going along and getting that. So this is the fancy heart die. So we'll take that off, ready to be used. And I'm going to be using some red cardstock. Now this is by Creative Expressions and it's the shade of Scarlet. And I just love the way this scores as well. So we're going to be using that. So grab yourself 2 sheets of that. And you'll also be needing some white cardstock as well. So let's grab the first one and we're going to make the base. So grab your paper trimmer out. Okay, so we're just going to cut a smidge under 8 by 8. So let me lift this up for you. So if you can see, we have the 7/8 of mark just here, just before the 8. So we're going to cut with the cardstock in the middle of that, and that will mean that our lid, when we make it, will fit perfectly over the top. So I'm just going under the 8. I'll see if I can zoom in so you can see it. There we go. Zoom back out again. Wrong way. My tripod's in the way of the button. Okay, so we zoomed out again. Right, so we're going to cut that at 8, or just under 8. Keep this. And again, just under the 8. Okay, so that's the base. I'm going to make the lid now. So this needs to measure 6 by 6. So this measurement is quite simple. That's 6 by 6. And then I've already cut the white square out already. So this measures 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So this one needs to measure 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. So we need to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's the one just after the half mark. There we go, and that should. Oop, I did that wrong. I think I cut the white one wrong, so we'll fix that in a moment. Getting carried away there when I was cutting. Right, so let's get on with the scoring. Grab yourself a scoreboard. For the base, we are going to score at 2 inches on all of the sides. And then on the lid, we're going to score at 1 inch. Okay, so that's all of the scoring done. Now we can do our folding and burnish them down really well with our bone folder. Okay, so for this one I'm just going to quickly use some double-sided tape. I just have to go and hunt out for one of these. Okay, so I'm going to be using this first, and I'm going to be doing my trimming. I'm going to stick it on just here. So burnish that down. You can also add just a tiny amount just here as well. Okay. Okay, grab some scissors. And I'm going to turn it over now. So we're going to cut along the edge of the score line, just to the left hand side. So the score line's on the part that we're going to be cutting off. Just like so. And then we're going to snip that off as well, so we have that. And then go all the way around and repeat that. And then what I want you to do is to go all the way around again, doing exactly the same thing for the lid. And then I'll be right back. Okay, so we're ready to stick everything together now. So we're going to start with the base first and take off all of our little bits, the backing tape. Okay, so taking it all off, and now what we need to do is just assemble our box. So I'm just lining that up and then pressing that down. You can use wet glue for this as well. Normally I would use some Tombow because that's fast drying, but I literally have a tiny amount left, so I'm saving those for my really small embellishments. Right, so that's the base done. Tidy up as you go. Okay, so now I'm going to do something slightly different with the base. We're not going to assemble it just like it is. We're going to assemble it while it's on the base, and then we're going to get a really good fit then. So we're going to put one together first just to make it easier. And then we're going to slide it on just like so. And then we're going to assemble it while it's in position. So it can be a bit fiddly, but you will get a good fit this way. So press that down and then press that down. So take your lid off and just press your corners in. And there we go. So that's our lid done. So now we just need to assemble the rest of it. So I have here 2 strips of cardstock. So these measure 8 inches long by 1/4 of an inch wide. And I'm going to be sticking these along the edge of the bottom edge of the box there. So just in case you don't like the ribbon and you don't like tying bows and things like that, we can just add the card instead. So you can use some double-sided tape with this, or you could use some glue. I'm going to go for glue. Just run a strip of glue all the way down. And then stick it on your box. So I didn't do any measurements for folding it, I just folded it exactly in half. And press that down. Do the same on the other side. If you can find double-sided tape thin enough to go on here, that would be a better solution to using just the wet glue, because of the ends here will like to flap out a bit. So and there we go. Right, we're going to set that aside to dry. while we move on to our flaps. So I cut one of these wrong, so let's work out which one it was. So this measures, so I cut the white one out wrong, so let's cut another white one out. Okay, so this one needs to measure 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Oh, the sun's come out again. Ah, much better. Right. Just going to use a tape runner for this one. Pop that down. So all we need to do now is to get that down and then make our heart. So you can actually pop this square up on dimensionals, but we do have this heart up on some foam squares anyway. So let's grab the big shot out. A white piece of cardstock there. Okay, so there are a few things you need to keep, which I got carried away with and didn't keep for this one. So there are a few shapes here that we need to keep an eye out for. So we don't need to keep, oh wait, we do need to keep that triangle. And there's this shape here. It's easy to go by the picture here on what we need to keep. So we have a heart here, a heart there, a circle and a star and a kind of star. It's like a starburst sort of thing. So I'm going to pop everything out from here and then I'll be right back and I'll be ready to put it all together. Right, so I've popped everything out. I've kept my little bits here, so I'm going to pop this up on some foam squares. These ones are by sticks too. So I'm just going to strategically place them around the heart. There may be a few areas where I'll have to trim them. Landslide. So I've just chopped these ones in half and now I can use these on the smaller areas up here. Oops. So here you can decide whether you want it tilted, just like that. I quite like mine square on. There we go, press that down. So you can leave it like that or you can add these extra bits on. So I'm just going to grab this picture here just to help me know where they all go. So I'm just going to add little dots of glue to where they go. So we have the circle and the heart. And I'm also going to use this little pencil by Sticks 2 as well. It's a little picky up thing. I just need to make sure these are all loose on there. So we have the large heart, it goes just there. Then we have a smaller heart just there. Okay, so there we have it. So we have our box lovely made, and you can also add a bow if you really want. So this is like a silvery white sort of bow. I actually ordered this and it said it was white, but it's come as like a silvery white, so I'm not too sure if I can get away with it. So I may just pop that in the centre. I quite like that in the centre. So grab a glue dot. So I'm going to stick this, there's a glue dot on my finger, right, that's where it went to. And then we're going to pop that on there. So two slightly different boxes, two different looks using the same die. So all the links will be down below for everything that I've used today, and there'll also be a blog post for this. The link will be down below for that as well. There'll be a list on there of all the dimensions you're going to be needing to make this box. And give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and subscribe in the corner there, as I have plenty more videos on the way. So thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.